Hello friends, it's Tiff back again, and I have some super exciting news. We just launched 2 new stencils, and one of those stencils is this beauty right here, Inked Hands, and I am going to use, I know I'm not alone when I say we all have jelly prints that's just hanging out around our studio. Yeah, I see you. I see you looking at me. I'm looking at you, girl, because I know you got some too. So what we're about to do, friends, is use some black paint with a cosmetic wedge to get this awesome stencil onto my jelly prints. Now, I thought that while I do this, I would kind of share with you the inspiration behind this specific stencil. And Inked Hands is, I believe, what's called, and I'm going to give the direct link down in the description box. But my mom and I had this conversation about how really generations of makers and how makers before me in the history of our hands and how we as makers really need and really excel, and it's just such a powerful moment with the things that we make with our hands. So we were kind of talking about the history and how my mom was saying, like, you know, I see my hands as my grandmother's hands and my mother's hands before her, and how they just hold a history of the long line of, you know, people that came before us. And so when I was thinking and we were talking about this, I was like, you know, this is a beautiful symbolic way of just kind of capturing this in a stencil form. So you can go and read the little inspirational thing behind it. You can find these stencils at Stencil Girl Products. And I'm going to just heat set this really quick. Of course, when you stencil, a thin layer of paint is all you're using, so it doesn't take a terribly long time to dry. And I'm going to cut out, I'm not going to make you watch that painstaking moment as I cut these hands out, but I am going to keep the hands cut out. And then I also want to just point out that I'm keeping the negative. So the negative space of the hands, I'm also going to keep that because, you know, I'm probably going to use it. No, not probably. I am going to use it. So you will notice that the hand stencils, one stencil is slightly smaller than the other. And in my mind, that was a way for me putting like my hands and my mom's hands. So her hands will be a little larger. She has way thinner fingers than I do. And then my hands would be the ones with the eye that is just slightly smaller. And so I'm going to cut off that little base because this is one of my handmade journals that I'm using here. And I wanted this to kind of go over and also I'm going to show you how to make it flip back so that we're not just going to glue the hands directly on the page, although we could, and I think it would be awesome. And I also noticed that I got a little heavy-handed with my black, and I wanted to make a little light pink pop happen over here with, this is some Nova Color Portrait Pink. And I'm going to go back in, and it looks like I got a little bit off camera, but I'm going to just pop the little grid on one of these circles because, I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to. And so that's what I did. And so I now have to heat set this a little bit because I put those splatters of white. So I'm going to heat set it again really quick. And I'm now trying to think about how I want to attach the hands to the journal. And one of the things that I was kind of considering was I thought fabric would be really cool. However, knowing that I have a completed page on the other side, I thought, nah, I'm going to do something else. So what I'm using here is the gummed back shipping tape. I'll link it as well. And I'm actually going to take and create a hinge a little bit of a hinge. Now, you want to make sure that your gum back tape is going to be about the size of the wrist part of the hand if you want it orientated the way that I'm doing it today. You could also do it where the hands kind of pop open, and I know that I'm going to be using the stencil a lot, so I will be able to share some different ways that you can approach this. But I decided that I wanted to do a little journaling on the back of the hands. So thinking about your hands, and these would be like your palm of your hand, right? And so you're not going to be able to read this. I was just really just getting a little bit of journaling out, and it was black on top of that. So even if somebody looked at my journal, they are not going to really be able to make out what I was trying to relay into this journaling spot. But I think the palm of the hand would also be a really great way to use as a journal and like do your journaling on the back of that. That's a really cool thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some of my dirty paint water here because I'm a train wreck. And so I'm going to glue one part on the wrist, and then I'm going to flip the other part over like this. And I am going to put it where it lays down. And I realized that I had actually put it a little bit too short, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it up really quick. This gum back tape, shipping tape, it does not play, friends. It does not play, y'all. It is going to be very sticky, and once you stick it, it is going to be stuck. So I was glad that I caught that right quick, and I could go ahead and move it. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other hand with the eye, and I'm going to do the little gum backed. That strip is about a 2-inch piece. I'm going to put the sticky side on the wrist portion of it and let it set for just a moment. And then I'm going to attach it to the top where it has the hinge mechanism again, and it is going to allow it to go up and down and actually be an interactive element. I really like things that move and groove and provide texture inside of our journals. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Run on over and grab yourself this new fabulous stencil, and then also check out my other new stencil that came out. I'll have a video up for it as well, and it's going to be really organic shape, and it is going to be called Wild Dreams. So I look forward to seeing you out there in all the places. Till next time, y'all. Toodaloo.